So this next section that we are going to talk about is the Lord prepared the way for the restoration. And it goes through chapters 12 and 13, talking about what Nephi saw, including things that it says right here, Come Follow Me. He saw the future of his people. He saw the colonization of the Americas, the revolution, the great apostasy, the restoration of the gospel. He kind of went through and kind of saw a timeline of what was going to happen. But the question that goes along with it is, first of all, why do you think it was valuable for Nephi to know these things? And this kind of stumped me a little bit, thinking like, why did he need to know? But what I kind of came up with was the fact that he didn't really, I don't know if he necessarily needed to know for himself, but he was the one writing these records, and because of him, we know. So he needed to know to be able to write it down for us in our day, who are now the ones that are reading the Book of Mormon.
It's a common purpose of many of the writers of the Book of Mormon that they were writing for a future day.
Yeah.
And so for God to help these men create a record that was going to be relevant for us, they had to put on their future goggles. Like, God had to help them.
See any of this happen.
Yeah. And so if they were going to create a witness for a future generation of people that weren't living at the time of them, they had to have such a clear understanding of what we would be going through to write a record that would benefit us after having gone through those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the answer that we came up with. Tell us yours. The second question was, why is it valuable for you to know these things? And my mind just immediately went back to the title page of the Book of Mormon, where it says one of the purposes of the Book of Mormon is to show unto the remnant of the house of Israel what great things the Lord hath done for their fathers. And so why is it neat for us to read this? Because we have seen it happen. It has now been history for us. I mean, we saw what happened with Nephi's people, the colonization of America, the revolution. Like, we've seen the great apostasy. It's already happened for us. And so it's really cool to see how God's word is true. Like, what he says will happen and has happened. And it's just a testimony of the power of God and how he is in control of all things. And he is organizing and orchestrating everything for our good. And so it's kind of like that testimony.
It's a powerful witness. It's God going and having something revealed to people of the past that's already been fulfilled for the people of the future, so that God's teachings to us can be received with faith and hope that they're going to come to pass in our future. Yeah. And so it's like God is all about faith. He's all about a faith-based people. I know I'm a skeptic by nature. Laura's one. It's actually in her patriarchal blessing that she has received a gift of faith, and that patriarch could not have been more accurate with that gift, because it is true of Laura. I'm more of a skeptic by nature, and I know that many people that lean towards skepticism, it would be nice that things were proven for us. It would be nice that, and so it's like God, he uses, in a sense, witnesses. He uses evidences. He uses things to help us, but at the end of the day, he's not going to prove things for us, because the ultimate goal for God is for us to walk in faith, because faith brings the miracles of heaven. Faith moves mountains. Faith changes our hearts. Faith is action. Faith is power. Faith is what's going to lead us to do great works. Being proven something to us doesn't necessarily change our behavior. And so I think understanding the doctrine of how God works in that simple phrase of God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And when we say it, and we say God's an unchangeable being, but when we truly believe that, then our actions should change. And we should change. When we hear the second coming, we should be very interested, because that's something that God's saying is going to happen. So what should we do today in preparation for that future event? Knowing that God predicted these future events for Nephi. Happened. So it's like he's using those evidences to help build our faith, to change our behavior for a future event coming. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So no, we struggled a little bit with this question, but we would like to hear from you. Why did God reveal these things to Nephi, and why is it important for us to know? Chapters 12 and 13 hold the evidences that Nephi wrote about that we can now read about.